And we're back. We are back. I had to start over because I had to come where I have Wi-Fi and I'm able to be on here for a longer period of time. Hello, hello, how you doing? Welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hello, Kevin. Just waiting for some people to get in here before I go ahead and get started. My name is Demetra Douglas. I am a master numerologist, so this is going to be a numerology question and answer. Hello, Ricky. How are you doing? Hello. Quincy, hey. Mitch, welcome. Welcome. Who is familiar with numerology? Who wants to learn more about numerology? Right? That's what this space is for. Pablo, welcome. Welcome. Welcome to my numerology question and answer. Hello, hello, hello. Gina, welcome. Welcome. Gina Babe 23, the number of good karma and karmic shifts. Right? Hello, hello, hello. Now, do not hesitate to ask me questions. I can't do a Q&A without questions. Hello, hello. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. Hello, Gabriel, Rusty. Hello. How are you guys doing? Welcome. Welcome. Numerology questions. I'm here for it. I'm here for it. I can't answer if you don't ask. Which would include decoding sequences, right? Or just questions you have in general about the craft itself. Hello, everyone. Beatrice, hello, honey. How are you? How are you doing? Julio, how are you doing? Welcome. Numerology questions. I'm here for it. I'm here for it. No one's asked anything yet. I did go live earlier today and I had quite a few questions, and I went live last night and had quite a few questions there. So, but I do need you to ask me things, unless you want me to just start talking about things. I can do that also. But I like to answer your guys' questions because I think that where we are currently, right, as far as the energies we are facing, especially as Americans, it's tricky and it's very difficult. So if there's anything you guys would like to know, please don't hesitate to ask me. You see the floating eyelash? Hello, Denzel. Hello, LaDonna. Numerology questions, my loves. If you guys have any numbers you want me to decipher for you. Yeah. Share this live, get some more people in here. Right? I am a master numerologist. I can say in the most humble way possible that I'm the best there is. So please do not hesitate to ask me a question about anything numerology related at all. About the frequency of individual numbers, about the frequency of whole sequences. Nothing. No questions. That's okay. I'm new to this and I'm just going to keep going. Why not, right? I'm not easily embarrassed. I've been through too much. Vanessa and Kay, hello, welcome. Numerology questions here. Anyone, just ask me. If you're curious, if you're like, oh, I see this number all the time, but you don't know what it means, this is the time to ask. Black Ghost, hello, welcome. Welcome. This is a numerology Q&A, and I have yet to get a question. People just coming to look at me, I guess. Hello, everyone. Hello, hello. Brian, welcome. Carl, hello. Jojo, hello. Body Shop, a 27. Numerology question and answer. Ask me, or I can't answer. I saw 27. Why don't I just go ahead and start with the just random numbers I see on the screen? 27 is a number that is vital, right? When it comes to ending tumultuous, toxic, addiction patterns, harmful relationship, harmful behaviors as far as your own dynamics, right? Being able to hone your own shadow self. This is a number that means that you've done the work, or you will be doing the work that is needed to bring a lot of bad patterns to an end. Okay? When you think of the 27 Club, for example, right? You are talking about a group of beings who typically, they pass away from addiction. Okay? 7 is the number of addiction. Okay? 2 is the relational number. It's also the number of the inner child. It's the number of the light of the soul. Okay? So when you talk about 27, you're talking about addictions that are caused by things that have harmed you, by people that have harmed you. Okay? The upside of that is being able to do the work to bring that to an end, right? The other side of that, the shadow side of that, the dark side of that would be that you are unable to, and it actually ends your life. So another thing I will announce here is that I'm not a bubblegum numerologist. Far from it, right? I understand every dimension, every realm of spirituality, okay? Dark and light. I understand every level of ascension and descension. So with that being said, I'm not going to simply tell you what you want to hear, because then you are not using numerology to the fullest extent of its power, and you're not actually using it with the desire of ascending and furthering yourself spiritually. You just want me to reaffirm that things are going to go how you want them to go, instead of allowing me to explain why they may not be, right? Or what the focus should be at this time, okay? So that's 27. Any numerology questions? 16, I see. No, that's not a 16, that's a 6. Okay, 6, the number of the persona, the number of the domestic life, your day-to-day life. 5 is the number of man, humanity. 6 is the number of humanity's ongoings. Okay. It's a great number. You want to use that number if you're trying to manifest new work, you're trying to manifest a home, right? We're just born on the 99th day of the year. So 99 is a co-creative number. It's similar to an angel number, right? Because we have the same digit twice. So when we are deciphering numbers like that, we need to pay attention to what number is being presented, how many times it's being presented, and what the total is. Okay, so when we're talking about 99, let's say you're involved with a particular person, or there's a particular relationship in your life, and you start seeing 99. Okay, it typically means that this being, you and this being, are going to be helping each other end some sort of cycle. There's going to be some sort of ending, some sort of trade of wind, turn in the air, right? When it comes to this relationship, because we're also totaling 1 and 8, which means it's karmic. Okay, so it can also be a number you just see when it's time to end a relationship, right? Simply put. But on a higher esoteric level, it could also mean that this is someone that's actually going to help you jump timelines. This could be someone that's going to help you completely alter your trajectory and shift where you're going in a beautiful, profound way. Okay. It could also be, someone that ends your life, right? Because we are talking about an ending, and we're having 1 and 8, which is a being navigating the realm of karma as it relates to past lives as well as actions and reactions. So, yeah. Every number can be explored in a wide variety of ways, okay? This is why I so heavily promote you guys learning the craft itself, because you know your life, you know yourself, and your intuition is your best tool. Any other questions, numerology questions? $185. Before I answer that question, what do you mean by it's my expression? What do you mean by it's my expression? I'm curious to know. Yeah. Because 185 in and of itself, it means that because the total, right, of 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 12, 13, yeah. So, but 8 and 5 totals 12. So this tells me that there are relationships in your life that bring up uncomfortable things. Because when you have 8, you're talking about the number of karma, right? But you're also talking, see, okay, this is a perfect example of this. I can go in multiple directions with this. It could be an example of the fact that there are karmic relationships that come into your life, right, that can be stressful and cause you a lot of anxiety. 5 is the karmic number as it relates to internal and external discomfort, restriction of thought or circumstance, right? People can come into your life that make you feel stuck, right? That cause you issue, upset. But it can also mean that there's people that come into your life to cause that allow for abundance and a shift karmically as it relates to money and things like that. Hi, GT. How you doing? Yes, yes. But it also totals 13. Oh, 14. Okay, 8, 12. See, I'm a master numerologist. I'm not a mathematician. I still use my fingers to count. So we have 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. You are correct. Okay. But it still totals 14, which is the number of energetic exchange. Okay, so that is telling me that it's important for you to pay attention to who you give your energy to, where you place your energy. Okay. And also, it's important for you to make sure that you let things go. Okay? And I'm going to explain why in a moment. Well, right now. There are 2 pathways of darkness. One of them is 857. You just provided 2 of those numbers. Okay, so when you were talking about an 8 and a 5 paired, there can often be a lot of guilt and regret that someone carries because of things they did before, decisions they made, how they treated other people, what they allowed other people to do to them based on them not having the full level of wisdom that they have today. Okay, so it's important for you to let things go and understand that everything is for your highest good, for your growth, and everything is meant to happen so that we can learn from it. Okay, and recognize the pattern and shift it. Any other number questions, you guys? Yeah. And top, the fact that it starts with a 1, right? What that says is that this is your focus. It's a primary focus for you as an individual, internally, intrinsically, right? It is a lesson that you need to really pay very close attention to because it's a big part of what you're here to change, to learn from, to alter, and to better. Yeah. And 8-5 is also a number that indicates you are coming in with past life karma that may make it more difficult for you to manifest things that you want, right? You might feel like you're just stuck in the same cycle over and over and over and over again. But the key and the gift in that is that as soon as you hone in and pay attention and learn what that is, you can lean into opposite action, shift it, and benefit from it greatly and really tap in and actually receive everything you want. Yeah. Any other number questions, you guys? What are your guys' favorite angel numbers? Why don't I ask you that? That actually tells me a lot about a person. 16, okay. Your sister's life path. Total 7. Total 7. And 16 is a number that indicates heavy trauma. Heavy trauma. And if this person is not careful, it can make them very mean. It can make them very short-tempered, and it can make them lash out at people that don't deserve it just because they're carrying so much negative energy. Okay? On the flip side of that, they may be mindful enough to not allow it to cause them to mistreat others, but it doesn't make the load any lighter. Okay? 16 is a frequent, when you meet 16 frequency people that have reached a certain point, it's not a comfortable experience. It's just, they're easily triggered. It's almost like an inflated energy, an inflated frequency because they're carrying so much pain. Okay? And they don't always know it. The key to 16 also is that they just don't even realize it. Okay? Until they actually start doing the healing, and then they become completely different people because the number after 16 is 17, which is someone who's actually, okay, I'm tired of carrying these shadows, being followed by these shadows. It's time to do the shadow work. Do you see how that works? 16 is such a high frequency number, but it's an uncomfortable high frequency, right? Once you get to 17 and someone's actually willing to look inward and do that work, that uncomfortable work, pay attention and actually dive in and dig into all of that ugly stuff, they become a powerhouse. That's when you get the best spiritual practitioners. That's when you get the best, the most wise people that are able to do things that other people don't want to do, right? Yeah. 333, right? Manifesting your heart's desires. I have a video on this. 333 is important because 3 is the number of manifestation. 9 is the number of mastery, as well as endings and new beginnings. You're trying to manifest something new, okay? What's really important for me to point out about 333, however, or just manifesting in general, Karma is very important. Not only is karma very important, currently in place soul agreements from past lives especially, as well as the amount of trauma you carry in your heart, are vital if you are trying to manifest using 333, or you are trying to manifest in general. We manifest from the heart. So if you are someone that represses your emotions, if you are someone that has past life agreements that say, money's bad, I don't want money, but you try to manifest abundance in this lifetime, right? And it could be so insidious, because it could have been a situation where everyone you knew that was wealthy was just mean spirited. So you said, I don't ever want to be like that, right? I'd rather live in a box than be like that toward other human beings. So your soul on a subconscious level is making an agreement with the universe that in this lifetime can hinder you from being able to manifest if you decide, oh, I actually do want this. Yeah, it's very important. Vibrational healing is a wonderful modality if you want to wipe all of that out. Wipe all of that out, okay? I don't like the floating eyelash. I'm not going to use a filter next time. It's weird, right? Okay, let's do 999 together. What did I just tell you 9 was? And I'm a teacher. I'm not just here to just right? If anything is worth you knowing, it's worth learning about, right? When it comes to angel numbers, right, what do? We pay attention. Yes, mastery. What else? What else? And we've talked about all of the numbers that you need to just, yes, perfect. And what is 9? What does 3 mean? Because we're seeing 9 3 times. Yes. And what is 27? Remember we talked about 27 and I gave you a clue? With the 27 Club. Numerology Q&A King. Right now I'm working with Top to help him decipher, or her. I don't know if Top is female or male or non-binary, or I'm helping them decipher 999. I think it's death. So 7 is a number that does represent death, but it represents other things also. It's the hell realm, okay? But 27 typically means that you are working hard to bring toxic, tumultuous, hell-like, 7-like things to an ending, or you're unable to. And because of that, you may end up losing your life because of those tumultuous, hellish circumstances in your life. Okay, so 999 would be a great energy to use, because you might look at the surface and say, I want to manifest a new beginning, or I want to end this situation. So let me just throw out 999. But what would be the issue with that? If you don't also pay attention to what it totals and then add it up after that, so there are multiple steps that need to be taken. Because if you just skip that understanding of what 27 is and say it's 9 3 times and it totals 9, you are missing a huge chunk of information. That actually explains to us, we're actually talking about the hell realm here. We're actually talking about how darkness is harming me in whatever form that may be. You may find yourself being in violent relationships, being harmed by people. You might find yourself using drugs or alcohol because you're just sad all the time, right? All of those are 2 issues, soul issues, okay? So this is about wanting to bring tumultuous issues to an ending, or uncomfortable or toxic or harmful. It's wanting to end harm and manifest a fresh start. That is the simplest way that I'm going to say 999, okay? Or opposition. 7 is also the number of opposition. So let's say you are working hard and you're trying to manifest and you're like, I put my whole heart and soul into everything. It just doesn't work, right? That's another understanding what 7 is. It's just oppositional energies. It doesn't matter where they're coming from. It can be people, it can be spiritual, right? It can be past life agreements you made, okay? So wanting to end those sorts of things. Look, let's end this. Let's start fresh. And I'm ready, right? Another thing that you need to understand when it comes to using numbers to bring about frequencies or to bring about circumstances related to frequencies. You have to be willing to face whatever's blocking that from coming to fruition, or whatever's blocking whatever it is you desire after that step. Okay? When we talk about, let's see, I'm heavy 7 energy, so I'm going to bring up a darker example because this is very present in this world. Sacrifice. Blood sacrifice, right? When people utilize blood in 7 energy, right, trying to bring about 8 frequency, let's say abundance, flow, okay, that's a perfect example of that. There are many dark agreements in place that people don't remember from past lives, right? There's a reason why a lot of these things happen, okay? Yeah. Let me give you a dark example again. Like I said, I already did a disclaimer. If you're scared of the dark, this is not the place for you. I am not a bubblegum numerologist. I was watching a Lifetime movie. Oh, I love Lifetime movies. Why? Because they're karmically so problematic and just like, but they are a perfect example if you are wanting to learn more about what karma is, right? And how it relates to human experiences. Just the twists and turns and the plot twists and the people pretending to be something they're not and all this, that's karmic. Okay. And a lot of times those things are playing, not a lot of times, always, those things are playing out because some sort of energetic imbalance is needing to be rectified in this lifetime for those particular people. Reversal of roles is very common. Okay. Reversal of roles. So I want to give you an example. In this movie, this man, he fell in love with some girl. He was a total nut job. And he rented out her basement. It was called The Killer in the Basement. And he turned out to be a total nut job. But he fell in love with her. They had some hot affair and this and that. But he kept like doing weird stuff and killing people in her life that was getting in between them or caught on to the fact that he was a weirdo and expressed feelings about it. And this one of them, he actually locked them in a dumpster and lit it on fire. And that's how they died. And the first download I received in my head is the brazen bull. So I'm giving you an example here. 888. I'm giving you an example of 888 frequency because we're talking about energetic exchange, a soul contract, right? Relative to past life karma and the reversal of roles. Okay. This is why it's important to understand before you start just throwing out numbers, you don't know what you're going to attract. If you have to face some dark things from your past lives, brazen bull was a tool they used in ancient Rome or Greece. And it was shaped like a bull. And it was made out of bronze. It's also the brazen bull, the bronze bull. And it was shaped like, yeah, look, this is dark. This is humanity for you. And it's been like this forever. It was shaped like a bull, and it was made out of bronze. And they would lock people in it. And there'd be a fire placed underneath. This is where it gets even darker. Okay? It was so atrociously made and designed and intentionally designed and made that an engineer, a music engineer, created these tubes that turned the prisoner's screams from inside into music for the people listening and watching this happen. Okay? So I bring that up to say this. When we talk about karma from past lives and the reversal of roles, you see where I'm going with this? The first instinct as a human is like, oh my God, this is so crazy and dark. And how do we not know that this person didn't do that to him in that lifetime? It's not personal, it's karmic. It's not random, it's karmic. Okay? Does 7 change the face? My sister's face always changes. That is a very interesting question. When you understand metaphysics, love, and pathways of darkness, and the fact that humans are very vulnerable to external energies influencing us, the answer to your question is possibly. Okay, so 7 is the number of, right, the hell realm and oppositional energies, right? What does that mean to you? It also takes 7 years. This is a metaphysical fact. Once someone has opened the doors to the dark forces through ritual, through their own spiritual interest and desire, right, to dabble in the dark arts. Once a dark entity attaches itself to you, it takes 7 years for possession to stabilize. Okay. I'm not saying that's what's happening to your sister. I'm saying this because I need you guys to understand the truth of 7. Okay, 7 is not just some lucky, giddy, good luck. Okay, and I've had to have so many arguments about this. When I was developing my system, my loves, I paid such close attention, it would make your hair stand on its end, at how detail-oriented and how hyper-aware I am to every single thing around me. Go online. If you're curious, if you don't believe me, go online. Google movies with the number 7 in the title. What comes up? What comes up? It's nothing lucky at all. It's dark. It's psychopathic, right? It's murderous, okay? It's addiction prone, okay? But 7's also one of my favorite numbers. I have 7 letters in my first and last name. I was born in July, which is the 7th month, okay? And it's because I've gained such great wisdom from the realm of 7, okay? By understanding the darkness of this world, you can truly stand comfortably in being able to teach others about every spectrum of this reality. And that's vital, right? I could sit here and I could say, what's your life path number? Oh, you're super creative and everything's going to work out for you, right? And that's what a lot of these angel number explanations online do. They're very shallow, and they don't actually help people understand the full depth of the human spiritual experience. Okay? It's so important to understand that, my loves. It is so important to understand that. Welcome, everyone, to my live here. We're talking about numerology. If there are number questions you have, but I'm also just talking about the reality, right? Yes, 284, that means you are going to encounter many relationships. Hold on, total it for me. 8 and 4 is 12, 13, 14. Yes. There are going to be many relationships, karmic, like we just talked about. I just went on a tangent about what 8 is, right? Right? And where it comes from, okay? This is deeply rooted spiritual lessons, deeply rooted karma from past lives, many of which are dark. When we come into this lifetime and you notice yourself encountering a lot of harm, a lot of trauma, a lot of times it's because we behaved badly last time. We just don't remember. So now we're behaving better and we're like, why am I always being hurt by people? Why is this, and this always happen to me? This is an example of that. People coming into your life that just steal your energy, but also teach you at the same time, right? Because it's only so many times that we can just be drained of our energy and just left destitute and depressed and heartbroken, right? Before we start to realize and pay attention and gain wisdom that many others don't possess, because you can only gain that level of wisdom through darkness, okay? So understanding that those things are clearing out a lot of energetic imbalances. Viper, hello. Mark, hello. Doris, hello. Yes. Numbers are deep, you guys. Numbers are deep. Are there any other numbers that you want just greater clarity on? Or should I just go through all of them? Why don't I just go through all of them? So 1 is exactly what it sounds like. Okay? 1 is exactly what good numbers for children's names. See, this is difficult because a child's soul is choosing its own name. Do you see where I'm going with this? I can't with the floating eyelashes. We choose our own name. Things align based on what the soul needs to experience next. Okay, the soul knows what karmic baggage it's coming in with. And it will align, right, with a birthday. It will align with parents in a situation. And it'll align by influencing you to pick and select a name, right? I mean, if you want to be safe, there are safer numbers, but no number is completely safe, right? Let's say I tell you 2, because 2 is the interpersonal number, right? It's the relational number. But if that child's coming into this lifetime with a bunch of interpersonal trauma and karma that needs to be rectified, is that safe? No, because that child will be manifesting, right? Don't overthink it. Don't overthink it. The name that resonates is the name that's meant to be. Okay? And like, for example, I could say 5. That could be good karma or negative karma. That could be shifting through every issue and difficulty and coming out on the right side of the bed. Or it could be the opposite, right? A lot of physical illness, like stagnancy, right? Relationships that are just not necessarily toxic, but just stuck, make you feel stuck. And then you wake up in your 50s and you're like, what did I settle for, right? Or a job. Why did I settle for this? Right? Like 7, right? I have heavy 7 resonance as far as my being, as far as my experiences, my birthday, my name. Is that the safe number? It's probably the least safe number. But I wouldn't change it for the world because of the level of consciousness I possess, required those experiences. I don't want you to fear 7. I don't want you to fear 8. I just want you to understand it, okay? It's how you master. We're here to master this realm of reality, not fear it in any regard. I want enlightened beings everywhere, right? That can manifest effortlessly, can clear all that crap out that's standing in the way, okay? We didn't come here to just be hurt. We didn't come here to be unhappy. We didn't even come here just to heal, right? It's just, we came here to remember and better and clear things that are getting in the way of our most natural state. Happy, healthy, joyful, fearless, loving, and alive. And if you're missing any of those components, something is wrong, okay? Something is wrong. Yeah. So like Martin, for example, 818, right? That totals 17, but I have 8 and I have 18. That's someone that is encountering these karmic experiences, but is able to turn it around and balance those behaviors. Hello, work hard, Dre. How you doing? How you doing, honey? Do you have any number questions? Nate, hello. Welcome back. I know I told you guys I was going to go live tonight, but I'm not going to stand outside with my arm out again for 30 minutes. So I actually came here. I'm actually at my mom's house. She lives where there's Wi-Fi consistently. She doesn't live in the middle of the redwoods like I do. I adore my home. I wouldn't trade it for the world, but you do sacrifice not having the best. Yes. Any other questions? I'm just going on a tangent, right? Spiritual matters, right? When you talk about 1, let's go through the realms. Let's go through the realms. Hello. Thank you for the glasses. So 1. What do you guys think 1 means? This is probably the easiest one to guess. Don't overthink it. Don't overthink it. I mean, look at it. What is 1? Action, masculinity. Okay, sure. Why? I'm going to back up. What is 0? What is 0? What is 0? 1 comes after 0. That's a clue. Directionless, sure. I can accept that. Because it's everything. Right? It is, source itself is 0 point frequency. It is neither good nor bad. It is neither masculine nor feminine. It is everything. It is the creator of all that is. It is where we it is where we come from and where we return to. Okay? It is the source. Okay? So, with that being said, 1. It's that initial dissension point from source. So yeah, if you talk about action, you talk about masculinity because you want to pair masculinity with action, whatever, I'm not going to argue with that. It's what you choose to do independently. So independent, exactly. It is what you choose to do independently beyond that point. It is you becoming an individual, right? It is separation, right? Okay. Can have the hermit, lone wolf, right? The leader. These are all terms I can comfortably put with 1. Okay. What does it mean when spirits manifest physically and how to remove them? Very interesting. So we all have a guiding spirit. Okay. Guiding spirits can be mapped and determined using your karmic experiences as well as mythology. Okay. With that being said, Demeter, my guiding spirit. My karmic experiences directly correlate with that mythology. A lot of times there's reversals of roles involved because that's what 8 represents. It's the guiding spirit number. It's also the number of karma. So based on our karmic paths and what our soul is already ordained to have to experience in this lifetime, we are paired up with a certain guiding spirit to kind of direct things. The problem with that is subjugation. If you're familiar with my content, I speak so strongly against deity worship, demon worship, even religion. And the reason is it's subjugation. You are giving your power to something outside of you that doesn't deserve to be placed above you. And you're only placing it above you because you think it's above you because you've forgotten your true power. Jesus is a great being. The frequency and the energy and the heart-centeredness of Jesus, there is nothing that any decent person could negatively say about Jesus. That does not mean I feel the same way about Christianity. Just as Jesus is an enlightened being, you have every capability of becoming your fully enlightened self as well. And it's actually a lot easier than you think when you know where to look and you know what to do and you know what to learn and you know what to clear away. Okay, anything keeping you down underneath that state of enlightenment, vibrational healing, inner work. Numerology is great, and any form of divination that helps you map ascension, growth, what lessons you need to learn, okay? I don't like anything that subjugates. I work with master vibrational healer and master metaphysician Jeffrey Wilson. And Jeffrey Wilson intentionally clears away any sort of spiritual subjugation. Anything. He does, and I'm going to recommend this, he does a 3-day free complimentary workshop on Facebook every month, most months, if you want to gain an introduction into what he actually does and experience it for free before you commit to his program. But I will tell you right now, best money I ever spent. Best money I ever spent. removal of trauma, removal of past life agreements that you don't even remember, okay? And you see it immediately in your life, immediately, and you're like, oh no, damn, yeah, I must have been carrying that. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's why I did a video. If you're familiar with my videos, I just did a video speaking against, working with dark forces. I've seen it, you guys. What it does to you, what it does to people's energy. And it could be from a past life. They don't even remember. And they're just stuck in such a state of physical pain and depression and disarray and heart being blocked off and disconnect from source. So anytime I speak against something, it's for a reason. It's for a reason. It's not because I'm trying to be mean or disrespectful of other people's beliefs. It's like, no, because these beliefs are actually very harmful. Subjugation is actually very harmful. Placing deity, little g's, right, above you. No, they're not above you. My love, you're above them. That's why subjugation is so dangerous. It's trickery. It's trickery. Thinking that you need to turn to another enlightened being to save you. Trickery. Absolute trickery. You are more powerful than these little g's could ever be. Okay? Any other questions? Spiritual questions? Yeah. But I will elaborate the top that understanding what mythology is governing your karmic path is super useful in helping you understand what you've gone through and why. Okay? And it also helps you map karmic lessons that you need to master. Okay? But the subjugation point, right? Honoring that connection is completely different than allowing that frequency or that being to subjugate you. Like witches, right? Worshipping Hecate. Why? Subjugation. You're allowing her to bind you to her restrictions. And guess what? These spirits have heavy restrictions. Right? They have very specific, very rigid stories and karmic timelines and storylines. Okay? Why do you think these celebrities, why do you think they're all weird? The lights are off. No one's home. I don't care how beautiful they are. I don't care how much money they have. They've allowed subjugation, demonic subjugation, which is even worse than deity subjugation. I talked about this in the video I did yesterday, day before, whenever it was. Little g's are deities, right? So when you talk about any deity that you can think of that's mentioned in religious stories, in mythology, any sort of deity that people perceive as a god or goddess, that people choose to worship or place on altar or mentally place above themselves, okay? They are capable, demons as well as deities, are capable of literally blocking you off from source. Yeah. Human beings can't do it to one another, but demons and deity can do it to you. They cap off your astral chakra. There's a channel between source. Let's say source is here. Let's say this is the channel space in between source and your astral chakra. And then from the astral chakra down, travels to you. They can cap that off. So you are no longer connected to the source of all that is. You're connected to them. Subjugation. It's a no for me. It's a no for me. Right? Right? Hello, Patrick. How you doing, honey? Oh. Any other number questions, you guys? Don't just stare at me. Talk to me. Ask me questions. Hello. Patrick, that's actually a great number. 599 is actually a great frequency, right? Total's 23. The number of good karma. 5 is the number of karma itself, right? And 99 means that co-creatively speaking, or a relationship between two people, ending a lot of harmful relationships and leaning into more beneficial ones. Yeah. So I actually have a cross and Yahweh's name tattooed on the back of my neck because, yes, I was Christian as well. And my spiritual journey began very much. Hold on. But God led me outside of that. My eye color just changed. I don't know. Anyway, sorry guys, I'm getting distracted here. So yes, when we talk about Yahweh, we talk about Jehovah, we talk about a frequency that is very 7 in nature. When you read the Bible, what do you read? There's a reason why, the God that governs this realm of reality. Well, yeah, right? Satan, the dark side, the dark forces, it's all governed by the same being. This is where things get tricky. This is where a lot of people don't like to listen, okay? Because people don't like that. People don't like to, especially Christians, they don't like for me to say things like that. Because they're taught that, what do you mean? Everything bad is Satan and has nothing to do with God. What? Excuse me? Does that even make sense? I know, okay? So understanding that, that's why 7 is so prominent, right, in humanity. 7, there's way more than 7 chakras, way more, but just the baseline, 7. 7 is a very prominent number in nature, okay? He also says he plans wickedness for good. It's like he's telling us in plain sight, but we don't see. It's a very tricky. Yeah. I honor Yahweh. I do. Meaning I respect Yahweh's role. Okay. But when you think of that, you think of the fact that Yahweh is very sadistic. Okay. Very 7 forward energy. Okay. I would even argue that Yahweh can be a shadow representation of Source, right? A governance, a lower governance, okay? Because of the things that Yahweh does. They're very sadistic, they're very dark, they're very evil. Someone pointed out to me, they said, how many times does Satan actually kill anyone in the Bible? If I recall correctly, it may have been between 1 and 10. Okay. May have been 1, to be honest. And how many people did God kill in the Bible? Hundreds, if not thousands. It's important to understand these frequencies, my love. You know what I mean? The motivation, it is what it is, right? And then you think of a being that Jesus was literally energetic perfection. What happened to him? A being that placed Yahweh above all else. Look what the outcome was. Very 7, very dark. Right? But just as we all have karma that needs to be rectified, so did Jesus. Okay? So I'm not saying to doubt divine perfection, divine order, because it's actually quite perfect. But it doesn't mean it's not atrocious to see. Okay? Okay? Life path 3. Okay. What's 3, Nate? What is 3D? And people like to argue this too. This is another one I have to talk to people about a lot. Because a lot of people come to the table thinking 3 is communication because they base it solely on astrology. Okay. But I disagree. Okay. 4 is communication in my perspective because it comes after the density of 3. Okay. The intellect, right? Communication, awareness, 4. 3, look up what is 3D? What is 3-dimensional? It's dense. It's physical. It's wielding things into physical reality. Okay? So when you have a life path 3, that's a gift when it comes to creating things. It's a manifester. Okay? A manifester. You can build great things as long as you believe in yourself. Yeah, I also went through spiritual training with Yahweh. Yahweh is the one that taught me numerology. For sure. I was chosen by Yahweh. I was awakened by Yahweh, of course. That is the governor of this realm of reality. Okay? Nothing happens without that being say-so. But Yahweh is also a name that encompasses every other deity on this planet. Okay? So when it comes to being awakened, enlightened, and all of these things, there is a certain point where you learn of the subjugation and you learn of the hierarchy that goes beyond Yahweh. Okay, so there's a part of you that becomes more like, I'm just going to kind of bypass. I'm going to speak to Source. Thank you, Source. And if that Source direction includes Yahweh, I'm fine with that because I'm grateful. But that doesn't mean dark, atrocious thing. I mean, human trafficking. Sexual assault, unaliving people. These are all things happening under Yahweh's governance. Okay, so it's just important to understand that. It's very important to understand that. That's why the minute if I make an assumption that someone's enlightened or awakened at the least, and then they start referencing like the Bible or just one particular God, I know they're stuck at a certain point because there's still subjugation in place. They still see Jesus as more profound and more spiritual than themselves, which is incorrect. I also went through spiritual training with Yahweh, but it got so dark, I stopped being a Christian. Okay. What got dark? And what do you mean by spiritual training? Hello, Paris. Hello, Nobody 21. 21's a great number, right? People say, another thing people say is 33 is the number of the master teacher. I don't really agree with that. I mean, it can't, sure, but no. And a lot of times people will base it on the fact that Jesus was 33 when he passed away. But I was born at 1233, so I very much have that frequency also. And it's more of just a co-creative concept, right? Co-creative can be with another human. It can also be with a spiritual being, right? So when your entire life, your day-to-day life, and all of those things encompasses spiritual co-creation with beings you can't even see, and everything you speak about, everything you pay attention to is just, it's so swept up in the spiritual. That's how I see 33. 33 on a mundane end is also the number of, let's say you move in with a boyfriend or a girlfriend. That's 33 frequency. It's manifesting together on a day-to-day basis. 21, and I say all of that to say I saw 21. 21 is a great number for a teacher. It's an external expression. Anytime you have, we talked about it, remember? Well, last night, I don't know if you guys were a part of that live. I talked about the individual numeric frequencies, which is any number that begins with 1. Okay, so 10 through 19. It is describing what you're going through as far as traveling through each frequency and dimension, numeric dimension. The reverse of those numbers, right? So 21 through 91 are external expressions of those frequencies, okay? So 21 is an external expression of your worldview because 2 is the number of the worldview. It's the number of relationships, okay? So a preacher, for example, is very 21, right? I was told that, okay, sorry, Nate, let me read yours, right? Because Jesus said, greater that I do, shall you do. Yes. Jesus was trying to get people to understand their own power and understand that all these weird things that they were doing were unnecessary. It's like, you're not, do you hear him? Subjugation. There was so much spiritual subjugation that was going on. Yes, but it's a tricky conversation, but because I would argue that Jesus was subjugated as well, right? But Jesus was tapped in, right? So because there is a God, we will always have a level of subjugation. It's just when we are choosing to allow ourselves to be subjugated by things that it's inappropriate subjugation. You know what I mean? Yeah. Jesus was trying to say, you guys, what is this? Lean into your power. Stop. Right? I was told that he wanted me to learn about the other side, but I'm not in that spiritual training. I'm not doing any of that. I know about it all. I'm not practicing it. Absolutely the F not. Yeah, I've spent thousands of dollars, far too much money clearing my energetic field to let in some nonsense, some toxicity. No, we flow with source. We don't do that. I don't do that. That would be subjugation. Why am I going to turn to a lesser entity for anything? It's just weird. It doesn't make sense to me. Hello, Tio Alex. How you doing? Absolutely. Absolutely. Charlie, hello. Yeah. Who told you that? Was you channel? Was it a download? Who told you that? And this is the thing too. Even I have compassion toward, Illuminati initiates and people in satanic cults, especially as when they're celebrities. Here's why. I've known many very talented musicians. So gifted, so talented, and it doesn't go anywhere. Okay. I remember recently I went to a bar with some girlfriends of mine, and we were having a bottle of rosé, and it was a great time, and there was a live musician playing. And the light in his eyes was still very much present, and I could read it in his soul that he's playing and he's hoping inside to one day make it big. Imagine you make it big. You get the opportunity. And here's how they say it works too. It's not immediate. It's not like you're not approached by these groups right away. Okay. Oh, hold on. Sorry, I have to prove I'm still here, guys. Hold on a second. Okay. It doesn't happen right away. Okay. They say you're approached later, after you've already gotten a taste of your dream. And you're not presented in some weird manner. You're presented as, we've been watching you for a while, right? We've been watching you for a while. We've been helping you along the way, right? Then you get invited to some soiree, or you get invited to some. How would you react to that? How would you react to that? Would you say no? Especially if you don't have spiritual awareness. Most of these celebrities are 13 frequency or below, meaning, or 15 frequency. Meaning, they're either super stuck, right, and need that shift desperately, or they just don't even have the spiritual awareness at all. If you're in a conversation with me right now, you are awakened. You are an awakened being. They're not that. They're regular. All the sheep around you that you're like, oh, you guys don't get it. Imagine being one of those, and then the first time you're being introduced to any sort of outside spirituality, it's dark. You don't know that. If I approach you and I have all this money and all this power, and I tell you, join us. Look at this. Look at everything you can have. We have the world is your oyster. You don't know what you're signing up for. So I have compassion toward them. I do. But once you get to a certain point and you start being willing to partake in behaviors that harm other beings, that harm children, I absolutely not. You are fully responsible for that. But I understand. I can have compassion and understand how these things happen and how they end up in these situations. The positive side of 7, it is incredibly transformative. Transformation takes place in darkness. People that do not face adversity, do not change, do not transform, do not ascend, do not become enlightened. It is the pathway toward enlightenment. Okay? It is unawareness, it is meeting darkness, it is balancing darkness, and it is mastering darkness and dominion over it. Okay? Sorry, I have an itch in my nose. I'm not picking it. I have an itch. Yeah. So 7 is a great gift. 7 is a great gift. That's why 5, 6, 7, 8, right? It's a dance term, right? But it's an ascension term. Going from that karmic restriction to you know what I mean? And dancing all the way to that mastery. But guess where you're dancing through? Hell. Okay. That's why shadow work is so important, my loves. So important. If you have not mastered your own darkness, you do not attain enlightenment. Okay. That is the key. That is the key. That is why on the frequency scale, 700 is where enlightenment starts. It is a relational reset. So 0, right, paired with the 7, 0 is the number of the relational reset, changing, completely resetting how you respond, how you interact, how you do things. So pairing that with the 7 it's a metamorphosis. It is overcoming your darkness. It is completely understanding it. That's why I say don't fear 7, but understand it. Okay? Understand it. I know this is a little off topic here. What are your guys' thoughts as far as Diddy? It's not funny. I laugh because it's uncomfortable and it's so atrocious. Okay? But what are your thoughts on Diddy and this whole Jay-Z thing? What are your thoughts? And where Beyonce stands in it all. What are your thoughts on that? I personally don't really think that Jay-Z did what they say he did in that situation, right? It's weird. There's something about it that's fraudulent. Changing of the guard, right? 13. The victim was 13, the number of the 13 families, changing of the guard, right? That's why they keep going to these events and just trying to present, because they're presenting themselves to the people that are in control of all of this. But if you listen to people like Beverly Rhodes, Sloan Bella, but Beverly Rhodes in particular, she discusses that she can't distinguish whether Jay-Z did this because he is carrying innocence, meaning he has partaken in some sort of ritual that harmed an innocent, even if he didn't do it this time. In this situation that they're referencing, he has done it. And she also talks about Beyonce actually ranking far higher. She's one of the highest ranking in the realm of celebrity as far as the demonic realms. She's done many a thing herself. Why do you think they're always thanking her at award shows? She carries the power of darkness. And her gatekeeper, I've done a video on this, her gatekeeper, or her spiritual gatekeeper that travels with her, and all of this is confirmed, I'm not making this up, is actually known to partake in child sacrifice rituals. So even if it's delusional to try and separate Beyonce from that behavior just because you like her singing, okay? That's why she's always, right? She's always like rocking back and forth. Okay? MK Ultra for real. She's subjugated heavily by dark forces. Any other questions you guys have for me? Spiritual questions? Thank you guys for liking the live and sharing the live. This is my 3rd time going live ever in life. It's been years since I've been making content. I never went live. And the reason is because it's like, well, I'm just going to sit there by myself. So I'm grateful that you guys have joined and are having a conversation. It's really, really appreciated. And this is a lot of fun. Talking to people that are spiritually open. Because in my day-to-day life, that's not really how it is. I'm surrounded by normal people. Is it easy to progress in the music business without selling your soul? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Not mainstream. Not mainstream. You need to be subjugated. They require you to be subjugated. Okay? Why do you think you think it's just a coincidence that people become famous and all of a sudden they fall off the rocker, or they start, the sparkle in their eyes just gone, or they start doing all this weird stuff? I mean, look at Justin Bieber. Poor thing. It's an example of that. It's very much ritual. Okay, 7 governs Hollywood. Okay? But that doesn't mean you can't have a successful music business. I'm going to give you a great example. E40. Haven't you heard the song Choices? I'm from California. He's from the Bay Area, not too far from where I am. But it requires moving in a very specific way, being very business-minded in your own right, okay? And being able to step outside and form your own independent conglomerate. That is my own opinion there. Okay? He runs his own label out here in Vallejo, I believe, is where he lives. Drake's engineer, I don't know anything about him. What about Drake's engineer? He's called 40. You talking about him? No, E40. You don't know E40? He's a Bay Area legend. He's a California legend. You don't know you have to look up E40. You have to look up E40. Yeah. For sure. For sure. Girl, I've been dun 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 trying to get to you and that dun trying to get to you. You've never heard that song by E40 and T-Pain? Or Tell Me When to Go. 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 You've never heard E40? That is wild. Or Sprinkle Me, man. Sprinkle Me, man. You have to look and Snap Your Fingers. He was in that song, Snap Your Fingers. He was in that song too. Look him up. You gotta look up E40. GT, welcome back. If you're still here, I don't know. It doesn't even tell me who's in here. I say hello and then you guys leave again. I'm guilty of it too. Don't worry, I do it too. I'm not taking it personally. Yeah, no, it's a wild thing going on in this world. You know, we had the fires. It's just also, it's the conspiracies of it all, not to mention our political situation is really bad right now. Well, they tried to kill an artist who refused to sell their soul and got to the top. Probably. Probably. Yeah. The higher you go, the more subjugated you must be. They have to be able to control you. Why? Your level of influence. Okay? What is the goal of the dark forces? It's not freedom. It's not joy. It's not love. It's the opposite. So anything that can help humanity, I mean, look at it. Look at it. The people that have passed away, what did they have in common? Some sort of level of awareness. Some sort of rebelliousness. Okay? Absolutely. Absolutely. They work people up. They woke people up, is that what you mean? Yeah. Yeah. You see? But that doesn't mean you can't make... Here's what I'll say. Right now, at this time, we can make a huge impact on humanity. But it has to be done in our own backyard. It's not going to be done mainstream. Okay? But guess what? You can have great influence in your own backyard. If you're a musician, learn business and promote yourself in your own backyard. That's why I love the Bay Area, where I'm from. The music scene out here is phenomenal. There are so many well-known artists out here. And you can move and you can be successful in the music business. It's just not going to be mainstream unless you're willing to sacrifice it all. Like literally. If you're willing to give up your connection to Source and the light in your eyes and the joy in your soul, if that's worth it to you, go for it. If it's not, don't. Yeah. Yeah. All of these things, I mean, it's just, it makes me sad too, because it makes me sad. It really does, because here's the thing. I'm going to give you an example. Mariah Carey. Oh, she was always my favorite growing up. Always. Always. Her voice, perfect. Like, there's nothing, like, very Christian forward, right? Very rebel, but her gift, I feel like her gift allowed for certain things, right? But I don't know. You know, who knows? Behind the scenes, right? I don't know. Yeah. It's intense. This world we're in, you guys, it's intense. What are your thoughts on politics right now? What are your thoughts there? This year is very 7 heavy. It's 2025. Yeah, the total is 9, but that 25 chunk right there is very important. And it totals 7. We just talked about what 7 is. Look around you, what's happening. Very 7. But also very 9. This is really unprecedented. Everything that's happening the way it's happening. All right? Yeah. What do you think about the Epstein list? I believe it will never get revealed. I don't know. Didn't it already get revealed? Didn't it? Or was that a different list? Was that the Weinstein list? Is that a different one? I mean, I'm pretty sure the Epstein list got revealed, did it not? I'll put it this way. I don't take anything at surface value. The more, if people are successful, I assume they're doing weird shit. I'm sorry. Like, you can look on, Bohemian Grove is another one, right? It's actually near San Francisco, here in California. It has been used by politicians forever. And the same politicians you see against each other are doing ritual together in the forest. Yeah, we can't take anything at face value anymore. We can't. Can't. What are your thoughts? Wasn't Chris Tucker on there? Wasn't it released? Oh, not official. Okay. Okay. So not based on what assumptions then? Wasn't it the flight list or something that was released? You know, Chris Tucker was on there. The Carters were on there. Pretty sure John Legend and his wife. And she makes weird posts about kids stuff all the time. You know, it's dark. Very Seven, very Seven. But I do recommend, if you guys are interested in all of this celebrity stuff, I highly recommend listening to the Sean Atwood channel. He's covering all of these things. He has remote viewers. He has psychics. He also has people that are just really well-versed in everything and really tapped into law and what's going on as far as these actual cases, the legitimacy of these cases, in addition to the spiritual truth and the fact that nothing is what it seems. Okay? So, Sean Atwood on YouTube. He goes live multiple times a day with many different people. Very entertaining. Very entertaining. Absolutely. Hello, David. Welcome. Welcome in. This is a numerology question and answer, spiritual question and answer. We've been talking about the celebrity world, the world of politics a little bit. I'm not an expert in those things by any means. I'm just human and experiencing them. Yeah. What do you think about Kamala Harris? So, I don't know if you remember, I mentioned Beverly Rhodes. She's a remote viewer and a psychic channeler. And she actually mentioned, so Kamala got into a lot of trouble when she lost because there was 2 agendas at work. And I guess it's just, you guys have to understand the truth about these things. Nothing is as it seems, you know? Like, we're all fed this crap that's not real and not true. It's just, yeah. 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 But I did vote for Kamala. I did. Because I wasn't going to look back, right? I wasn't going to experience 857 and be looking at what's happening today and say, oh, well, no, I was like, I already know all the conspiracy theories. I already know the truth of politics, the Electoral College. I know about all of these things and I have for many years. But I still saw everyone around me so afraid and so angry and so scared. So I voted for her. She channels Beverly Rhodes. She's a remote viewer. You know what remote view? She's a remote viewer. You know what remote viewing is? House. She can look at you in your house. She can look at places and not be there physically. Yeah, it's wild. It's wild. Remote viewing is a very powerful psychic ability. And she's the one that said, oh, sorry, my phone's dying, you guys. I'm going to have to go. But thank you so much for your time.